Yo, what's up guys? How's everyone doing? Guys, today I'm going to be talking to you about how I started off in this crypto space, because I've been getting this question so many times in PMs, in the YouTube comments, different things like that. And obviously it's an interesting story because I am only 16, so I did get into this kind of thing quite early. And so really I want to cover, from start up until right now, how I got to where I am, how you guys can do that as well. And there are really 3 or 4 key sort of points which I think each and every single one of you can take away from this video. This was originally a car vlog video, but it turned out really badly, so I decided to get my DSLR camera up in here and get some nice bokeh. No, there's no bokeh here, but whatever, you guys don't care. So alright, so I started in May 2017, and I had always been interested in Bitcoin. I'd always been interested in investment banking. That's actually the kind of thing I wanted, wear those big suits and go into those high-rise buildings and talk big money with people. That really always attracted me from watching shows like Suits. So it was a passive interest of mine, but I never got into Bitcoin because it just looked too complicated. It looked like something that was way out there. How could I ever get there? As at the time I was actually 15 when I started, so I just thought I'm too stupid for this. But obviously that wasn't the case, because buying Bitcoin was way more simple than I thought. The way I actually got in, it was just complete luck, really. I mean, it wasn't anything I did. I just saw a friend of mine posting on Twitter that he bought Bitcoin last year, which was 2016 at the time, and he turned $13 into $200. And from there I was like, wow, okay, well, this guy knows how, he's my friend, and I'm sure he can teach me how to do it. So I asked him. It turned out it was very simple to buy Bitcoin. You guys already know now, with this increased liquidity, it's very easy to buy and sell Bitcoin in these markets. And so that's how I started out. I bought Bitcoin first, but because Bitcoin was too expensive, I must have had maybe 0.1 Bitcoin at the time. It was about $300 worth. And so the first actual coin I bought, I got Bitcoin, and straight away I moved it to Poloniex and bought Ethereum, because Ethereum was a cheaper coin. And I rode that up to all-time high. It was like $300 or something when I got in, or maybe a little bit, maybe $250, something like that. I rode it up to 400, and then I rode it right back down, because guys, as you know, in June I think it did reach an all-time high and then just completely fell off a cliff. So that was a bit of an awkward situation. And guys, really from there, that's the first thing. So I took that initiative. And it developed into something a lot more serious when I took Superman's Udemy course on crypto. So I think this was his first or maybe second one. It was only £10. And guys, for a complete beginner, his courses are amazing. I mean, if you literally don't know anything about crypto, like you don't understand what the Bitcoin network is and how to send transactions, how to send payments and all that stuff, very, very basic stuff, go to Superman's Udemy courses. They are actually good, despite what I think of him, what you may think of him now, he still works really well for beginners, and it's because of him that I was able to get into the altcoin sort of industry, I guess. And, from there, I was like, I messaged him, I was like, we should start a Facebook group, we should start something where we can all talk to each other and interact. So he did end up making a Facebook group, and from there I was introduced to Telegram. And really, that's where the altcoin trading started. And this is the second main thing. So the first one is just taking the initiative. You guys have already done that because you're watching this video. But the second main, probably most important thing out of all of this is I was trading alts. I was gaining experience and learning. So, I was buying at the top and then selling at a 20% loss. And then the next day it goes up 50%. That kind of thing. You guys are probably familiar with it. I had that cycle going over and over and over because I wasn't a very smart kid at the time. So I kept on making the same mistakes, and I must have lost the whole 300. I can't remember now. It was kind of like gambling. I'd lose it, then I'd put more in and lose it again and carry on. It was pretty bad at the beginning. And so, I did reach that breaking point where I decided, you know what, I'm going to quit. I threw my hands up, and Bitcoin went from like $3,000 down to $1,800 in mid-July, and that's when I quit. That's when I sold everything. I panic sold, and I was like, okay, well, crypto wasn't for me. Good run. And then about 10 days later, early August, something like that, Bitcoin reached maybe 4,000. I don't know, I forgot now, but it went higher than my exit price, and I bought back in. So I FOMO'd back in, and from there I never looked back. I've never sold Bitcoin, panic sold Bitcoin rather, and good decisions only followed from there. But the main talking point of this is I made a lot of mistakes, and I learned from those mistakes. So probably the most important part is you put money in, and when you lose that money, it invokes emotion inside of you. So obviously no one likes losing money, but if losing X amount of money is actually pretty impactful on your life, I think that's how you definitely learn the lessons faster. So first of all, it's just being willing to take those lessons on, but more importantly, it's learning from it and then sticking to it. Because I panic sold, I quit the crypto game in mid-July, but if I didn't come back, I wouldn't be where I am today, and that's just a terrifying thing to think of. So if you do stick to something like that, the key thing to remember is to literally never give up. Now, none of this is financial advice, you guys already know that. Maybe, if you're tight on money, it's never a good idea to start investing because, there's risk, especially you go to crypto, you're crazy, right? Because you're going to lose your money. But if that kind of thing isn't a problem for you, you're fortunate enough to be in that position, as I thankfully was. I'd already been making money from YouTube. It's what I've been doing for a very long time. So I was okay with losing that $300. Obviously it hurt, but, going on, I learned a lot of new things. And then the third main thing that I did to learn from there to get to where I am now is that third phase was asking a lot of people a lot of questions. So this was very simple stuff, we were trading alts. I was talking to people who ran Telegram groups and things like that. And I was always okay with social media, with YouTube, with Twitter. I've taken social media courses. Being a teenager, it's relatively easy for me. And so I was saying, I can promote your group if you can give me early. This was back in the pump and dump days, right? So I can promote your group if you can give me early signals and things like this. And then it turned into signals, like not pump and dumps anymore. And this is where it became a clean Telegram. Before it was pretty disgusting, and I'm ashamed to be a part of it, or I was a part of it. But I was talking to people about trading alts, and they would say things like, see a coin is at 28 sats, and I would be like, what the hell is a sat? And they would say it's 28 satoshis, and I said, well, what's a satoshi? I don't know what this is, and I felt like a complete noob. It was a little bit embarrassing, but it's just asking those questions and being willing to ask them. People will take you, they might not take you seriously, but they will answer you. You go to enough people and they will help you out. I mean, this is I'm only at, 20,000 subscribers now, guys. This is your opportunity to take advantage of contact to me, because I can still reply to everyone who messages me. I have that time on my hands rather. Maybe when it grows to a little bit of a larger channel, I won't have that time anymore. So you guys can take advantage of that. The lessons I've learned, the people who've helped me out, really, really made a massive change. Obviously, the learning from mistakes is the single biggest aspect for me, and I think for everyone else as well. But to give you that next level boost, it does come from asking people questions and being willing to. So it's simple things like sats, but even then, how much allocation are you putting into X coin and things like that? Asking these kinds of questions, definitely go ahead. You guys are open to do that for me. I'm willing and I want to pass it on. That's actually why I run the Telegram channel. That's why I do these daily live streams for you guys. It passes on what I learned, and then hopefully the goal is by the time you've reached where you want to be, you can start passing that on to other people as well. That's the end goal. So that was sort of phase 3, I guess, if you want to call it. And then phase 4, this is where I'm up to right now. So, I took the initiative, all right? I learned from my mistakes. I'm still learning from my mistakes, but I made way more mistakes than I think the average trader would, which is why I think I'm, not to brag, but to brag in this case, which is why I think I'm pretty good now. It was not an easy journey. It was, I've quit many times and then, unquit the same day or whatever the deal is. I've made all of the noob mistakes you can imagine, literally all of them. I mean, you can drop them in the comments and I guarantee I've done them. And, from there, then it became, I knew my stuff. I knew how to make trades. I had already opened my Signal group by then. It was, this was back in September 2017. We had the Signal group open. We had VIP open. And from there, it was more like, okay, this is time for that self-actualization kind of stage, if you guys know about Maslow's hierarchy, that kind of thing. So I started reading books, and I had always been reading books. It's what I attribute all of my success to, actually starting to read, because it's back then, I was thinking, how did, we all have 24 hours in the day, yet there are some people that, do nothing with their day, and then there's Bill Gates on the complete other end of the spectrum, and I was thinking, how can I be like them? So I was thinking, what does Bill Gates do that I don't do in my 24 hours? And the main thing, the first thing I saw was reading books, and I thought, okay, I can get on board with this, because I know other people like Warren Buffett and I don't know, everyone else also reads books who's in a successful position. So that's how I started. And then I said, you know what, this makes sense. So I transferred that over to crypto. I got into reading crypto books. I got into, not crypto, Forex technical analysis books. Reading in depth about the technologies, because at this time I was still the kind of guy that would only rely on TA. I wouldn't look at fundamentals. I'm still kind of like that. Because I just found it too boring to read up on those things, and I'm still resistant to it. I only do it when I absolutely have to. But it's because of that. It's reading in depth and really understanding what I was investing into and trading that gave me that extra edge, which it doesn't show me. You know, it's not a practical thing which you can show straight away, but it does. You know, it shows through, I guess, subconsciously, if you will, through your work, through your results, and that's what really made a major difference. And it's where I am right now, still working through books. I mean, this is something that can go on forever. And then, you know, really, it's reading books, asking questions, taking the initiative first of all, but most importantly, like I already said, it's making those mistakes and learning from them. All right, it's no good making mistakes and not learning from them, because you're just going to make them again. Never make the same mistake twice. But then, more importantly, I think almost everyone is going to reach some sort of a breaking point. You guys watching this probably already have at some point. I mean, it's June now, nearly July. So it's a 6 going on 7 month bear market. Of course, you're going to be burnt out and you're going to be, you know, upset. You've probably already quit a couple times. Maybe you have quit fully, but you're just watching this video because you like my content, in which case you're amazing. But you know, it works out well in the end. You know, it's not an easy journey. None of this is easy. People will think it is because they don't see the hard, you know, they only see the glamour of it, and it's fair because we only show the glamour of it. But you know, if you do stick to it, I think your time will definitely come to make some amazing gains. And really, that's where it was for me. So guys, I've had a lot of people asking me this. I hope it has clarified a little bit of it. Yes, you know, I am a young guy, so it is possible for anyone at any age. And I hope it does, you know, potentially lead to inspiring and, you know, if it even helps one person, which I'm sure it will, it has already. That's my job done, and if you guys can pass it on, then, well, that's amazing. So guys, you know, with that, I am going to be ending it here. Guys, if you are interested in VIP as well, you can definitely hit me up. We are almost at 100 members. I think we're just 1 member away, if I'm not mistaken. So you can hit me up, t.me/cryptomafia_gold, and I do leave my username at the bottom of those posts at 4flies, so you can message me there. But guys, with that, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Hope you found something useful out of it. I'm sorry it wasn't a car video, a car vlog, but they will be coming soon. But yeah, guys, with that, I'm out. Peace.